Okay, greetings everyone. This is First Centurion 753 with the next episode of Geopolitical Simulator 4 Power and Revolution, restoring the Ottoman Empire. You'll have to excuse me, I've been a little sick lately, so my voice might not be 100%. In the last episode, I believe, we won the election, and we've stayed in power. New leader, but same political party, and in this version of the game, you're allowed to do that. I have the 2018 add-on. I forgot what patch, but I think it was one of the add-ons that allowed you to start doing that. I forgot which one. But by 2018, you can definitely do that. Let's see. Parliament-wise, we are going for a law here, changing the length of the head of state term, I think by 1 year. And that vote will pass 100% of our party. And a little bit of some of these other parties, too. Our party has 41% of the seats in Parliament, so we can get a lot of stuff done. 53% of the vote, that's good for now. And that will slowly start to extend our election dates. Hopefully that'll push it back to 25, then I don't have to run for election. Ideally, I'm going to try to, as some people have requested, get rid of the entire electoral system, although this is kind of tricky doing it this way. Just modifying the laws year to year. In the past, some people said this was unrealistic, but if you look at China today, Xi Jinping has changed the laws and manipulated the laws, and I think Putin has kind of done the same thing. So, in this world of modern dictatorships, I'm not sure that that's completely different. Also, Erdogan is somewhat consolidating his power. To my understanding, the laws still stick that it is a democracy, but I think he's made it more of a presidential democracy than a parliamentary democracy what it used to be. To my understanding, although I'm not a, expert on Turkish politics, so feel free to correct me down below there. Other things I wanted to take a look at first, let's take a look at the economy. I always like to do at the beginning of an episode just to see how things are going. Our economy has a 5% GDP growth with 3.9% unemployment and inflation down to 5.07. That's really good. GDP is at 955 billion, so we're almost at a trillion. I did want to take a look and show you guys how things stood as far as global economic status. If you look at GDP, Turkey is currently, we are currently 17th in GDP. Originally when we started, we were 18th at 771. That's back in 2018. And we are currently in 2019, so in 1 year we've grown a tremendous amount to 955. Let's get over that trillion, pass Indonesia. Those goals probably could do within a year, I'd say. Mexico, Australia would be next. South Korea is up there, going all the way up to, let's see, after South Korea we've got Canada, Russia, Italy, Brazil, England, France, India, Germany, and Japan, China, and the United States. A lot of times in this game, China does surpass the United States, although I don't know if I completely agree if that's going to actually happen. In reality, China's economy does seem to be slowing down a little bit. But you never know. A lot of infrastructure expansion by the Chinese in Central Asia, along with the Silk Road. And I believe there's a lot of investment in Africa as well. I've been talking about that a lot in my world history class. Also, I wanted to look at security. This is an interesting one. If we look at military defense budget, Turkey is 16th in the world. Of course, the United States is number 1, with more than like the next 6 or 7 countries combined, which is realistic too. We do spend tons on our military in the Middle East. Or the United States, we're not at $1 trillion yet, but we're getting there. I think it's at over $700 billion was the last budget for the military, or at least it was the last proposed budget. Let's take a look at actual military strength, though. Security. Military power index. I don't know exactly what this is or how it's calculated, but we are 8th. And Russians are ahead of the United States. I don't think they're really ahead of... Well, I think this might include like tanks, helicopters, etc., etc. let's take a look at one thing that I think really is a factor in conventional war in the game is fighter planes. So we're at 394, which puts me at 13th, so I think I need to catch up in that area, especially with Egypt. Egypt is like, after Cyprus, I do want to move on Egypt, get control over that Suez Canal, and enter into the west, into the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, and the Far East. So we're pretty far behind on fighter jets there. So we want to be able to catch up to Egypt and surpass them. To take a look at, that's one of my biggest concerns. To take a look at, I wrote a few things down. Next thing I want to take a look at is secret files. Consulting files on head of state. I forgot exactly what we got here. We did not get anything on Cyprus yet. That's my first target. We do have Egyptian. Proof of their purchase of nuclear weapons, aid to foreign terrorists, and supplying terrorist weapons to terrorist organization. So we've sort of got them under wrap. I think they would be an easy one to move against, although I'd like to get control of Cyprus before I do so. Again, I think I've referenced this many times in this series. Cyprus is the permanent aircraft carrier of the Levant of the Eastern Mediterranean. United Arab Emirates. That's interesting. We've got good casus belli against them. The Saudis, we might be able to get them too. Iran, a lot of people do not like Iran. There's a lot of enemies of Iran in the world, although Saudis are today seem to be very closely tied to the United States. So I'm not sure if that would be realistic that Turkey could go to war with Saudis. But we don't really need Saudi to go to war with Saudi Arabia because they weren't really part of the Ottoman Empire. Only sort of their coastlines were like along the Hejaz region, which I think is on the west coast, and then Kuwait, really. So to actually restore the borders, I don't think we need all of Saudi Arabia, although maybe some of it might be useful. Egypt, like I said, is a nice easy target for us. Also a nice easy target would be Armenia. However, this is just suspicions of the development of nuclear weapons. Armenia is a historical rival of Turkey. There's the whole Armenian genocide situation where a lot of Turkish government, I think, still denies. But the thing about Armenia is they are closely aligned to the Soviet Union. I think they're within their sphere of influence. So I need more than just proof. I'm going to go ahead and up the number of spies in Armenia. They are right along the border, and they are a step to the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus are a mountain region that the Ottoman Empire did press to, and that means we would have to not only capture Armenia here, but also move into Azerbaijan and Georgia. We have good relations with those right now. Not great with Armenia. But like I said, I think Armenia is in a military alliance with the Russians. And I think that alliance is the CSTO. Armenia and Russia. Collective Security Treaty Organization. So, that's going to be tough because I think moving against Armenia might be vetoed by Russia in the Security Council. And I don't really want to do too much against the Russians. I think the Ottomans did have control over the Crimean Peninsula and parts of the Ukraine, or at least they had vassals in that area. So I'm not sure if I really need to go all out against the Russians, at least not yet. I'd much rather move down into the Middle East first and into North Africa. I think we'll definitely have easier targets. And technically I do need to move into Eastern Europe as well. But before I do that, I was thinking about sort of expanding my influence into the Black Sea a little bit. There was an organization I was looking at, and I'm going to go ahead and press play here and get the clock running. I'm using the right hand. Here we go. There it is. Okay. I'll get the clock running, and I want to take a look at... There was an organization... Guam. That's not the island. That is an organization of democracy and development. This includes Azerbaijan, Georgia, Moldova, and the Ukraine. I feel like if I'm a part of this, it would sort of help me to contain Russian threats. So I think I'd like to. This all seems to be within our region. These are all countries around the Black Sea, and they are democratic. So I think I should probably meet the requirements. Apply to become a member of an organization. Let's apply to become a member of Guam. I think I did it. I think I pressed the right button there. Alright, what do we have here? Attempt to eliminate head of state. No, I think he was pretty corrupt. We're going to keep him where he is. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to eliminate head of state there. So, taking... Why is this doing this? I gotta get on. There we go. Taking a look at Cyprus itself, I think we've developed one air base, fully developed here, and one military base with 110 soldiers. We need to deploy more troops and more fighters here. Let's check military-wise. So far, just an air base, just 110 fighters. So, where could we redeploy forces from? 2 air bases here. 28 fighters, 2nd level. That looks pretty good. I like the looks of that. And 300 tanks. Let's get 137 tanks. I think we need to airdrop them probably. Missile launcher, soldiers. I'm gonna want to move, I think, at least 10,000 and change. There we go, allocation. There it is, reallocating the soldiers. And I think I screwed those tanks up. I've got to do allocation, reallocation of tanks. Okay, so those forces should move. And then we'll just move these guys back. Meeting request with Kazakhstan.
Our sportsmen are ready. But if
I encourage that.
The appointment that you have just taken is well noted. Nevertheless, because of an overloaded schedule, we have had to cancel and...
Oh, what's going on with that? Alright, I am confused here. Just close that out.
Our governmental
Target in Israel. This is regular cargo plane. Reinforcements flying in to the bases here. 28 fighters. Second, we're going to want also to add fighters to these bases probably, because they will be part of the campaign. Membership refused. Organization of Democracy and Development just given a verdict on your request. You're giving your geographic location, really? You can't join this organization. That doesn't seem to make sense. I thought it seems like I guess maybe because we're in Asia or something. That makes sense. Azerbaijan, Georgia, Moldova, and the Ukraine, and we can't join? That sounds kind of dumb. Meeting request with Lebanon. Okay, I'll meet with you, see what's going on. Nope, we're not going to do that. Swimming
the
ambitions.
competition will begin in a week.
I don't know where this
All
contest
our
is.
athletes are in top form.
Never heard of that.
The fight will be
Town.
harsh, but they will do their best
Sports
to bring back medals
attaché.
and represent the country with dignity.
Let's take a look at our finances. How are things going financially? $35 billion excess, $82 billion in debt, down from $256. We'll get a surplus going pretty soon. The game seems to do better when you do have a surplus. Although, I've been listening to some interesting economists recently, or economists...
The bill has been voted on, and the law has been passed.
There we go. Economic arguments that national debt is actually something that we kind of need in the world. For a first build to success. Because all the money right now is based on debt. I wonder if that holds true, or at least based on American debt, is one argument that I've kind of been hearing a lot from economic sources that I read and listen to. So, oh, we're building an airbase there too. That's interesting debate and discussion. Does the world need economic debt, particularly American debt? Because while look at this, the Russian network has succeeded in sending its information that they identified a permanent, and the result after interpretation surpassed optimistic projections, because this is what we stole. We stole construction of a habitation module. So, make the Ottomans great again. Should I build a space program? We just stole something. I'll leave that out there. But, like I said, because since Richard Nixon in 1971 floated the US dollar is no longer based on the value of gold. And since 1944, 1945, the Bretton Woods system, the US dollar has been hegemonic currency, which means most transactions are done through US dollars. So it's really the US debt that is giving value to global currencies at the moment. I'd love to hear anyone's opinion on that. Feel free to post down below if you have any other YouTube videos that I should watch, or any articles to read, or suggestions for arguments for and against that. Should we continue to float the US dollar, or should we bring it back to an age of
the preparations
gold
are complete.
standard?
The whole country is prepared.
It used to be gold and silver standard originally. But that's definitely something I'm very interested in, central banking, and learning more about central banking and currency, and where currency gets a lot of its value from. So, feel free to post those comments down below. In the meantime, there's the other question. If the United States needs to have debt, to maintain the value of currencies, do the rest of the countries in the world need to have debt? Because most countries in the world do have debt. I think there was like 5 countries right now that do not have debt, or at least have more, or I don't know if they have a surplus of cash. Countries have certain funds that have surpluses in, like sovereign wealth funds, and the United States has Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid trust funds that has money into it, but a lot of that money that pays for those go to or come from current payments. What is this? More hostages. I hate when they have hostages. We're gonna attack. We always do well with attacking. 41 hostages. Turkish communist forces. Gotta get after these terrorist groups.
Good morning! I didn't come empty-handed. In fact, I wanted you to see in order to submit to you this economic contract which, as you will see, is profitable for both our countries.
Let's see what we got. Okay. This is not a big deal. I am not going to deal with it. Not interested. Do something about human
Our
rights.
country is confronted with many subversive undercurrents, so you'll understand why we are forced to apply an appropriate coercive policy. However, your request is not ridiculous, and will not be ignored because, I must admit, it fits into the more lenient program we have been waiting to incorporate for some time.
Interesting. That's all I want to talk about with you. We got that. What is going on near the Armenian border? Looks like we have construction. We have constructed a number of military bases. There's some interesting forces. 20,000 there. 18,000 there. And another 20,000 there. We got about 80,000. 80,000 troops in the region, I guess. How much do the Armenians have? They only have 44,000. We should be able to easily knock out Armenia. And with their capital being right there on the border. Ooh, the Russians have a base. That's the big thing. We attack Armenia, the Russians are right there.
The hostage takers transmitted a press release. If their demands are not met, they will execute the hostages.
Yeah, I think you just got executed.
The assault was a major success. Our intervention team showed considerable professionalism, and the terrorists were shot or captured. With the exception of some people with minor wounds, there were no casualties among the hostages.
Looks like we did well there. Alright, let's push this time through this quarter. I want to pay down some debts. We've redeployed troops. We have increased our... I attempted to get into that Guam organization. Just crossed that off my list. Military analysis in Egypt. Cyprus deployments and secret files. Let's take a look at that. Deployment to Syria and Armenia. Deploy more troops. I don't think we need more troops in Armenia, or near the Armenian border, but Syria. What's going on in the civil war here? Kurdish forces still control the northeast and a portion of the northwest. They've taken Aleppo. Wow, interesting. Actually, the Kurds have advanced, and we don't really want the Kurds to have a lot of power. I might be well to... Yeah, I don't really have enough bases in the area, do I? Might be well to support the Syrians against the Kurds. There's an air base. We're building an air base here. I have 460 troops on the border. I kind of want to build a military base right there. There's another air base. So they should be in range. I definitely need more fighters. Let's take a look at how much another military base would cost us. And I should recruit more troops. Let's crank it up to 80. 80,000 career soldiers. Fire that up. 17 million. And construction of a military land base in Turkey. Costs us $1 billion over 5 years, $334 million per year. I'm gonna want this right there. Secure those pipelines. Nothing against Israel at the moment. Religious holiday appearance.
Sharing this moment of intense spirituality with the faithful gives me great joy. On this holy day, I thank all of our communities across the country, both those in cities as well as those in small, remote villages, who are all coming together in prayer.
Alright. No surprises at the swimming games. We're not good at swimming. No swimmers in Turkey. Get out of here. That's not what I want. Get out. Militarism and national defense got affected slightly. Confidential information in Iraq. They are financing total jihad in Kenya. That's not nice. That's cause for war against the Iraqis. Swimming, like I said, no good. I don't want that. Saudis, I don't want that. Inauguration of an airbase, good. Happiness increase, very good. Armenian, no. Syrian confidential information. 2 nuclear missiles from Brazil. Where did Brazil get nuclear missiles? That's not realistic. Alright, so that air base was constructed here. 110 soldiers. We need more fighters. Probably want to pull them out of some of the northern bases. Iranian confidential information. Intention to perform military nuclear tests. Where are our fighters? We need to buy more fighters. Let's make a meeting. Let's set up a meeting with the French. I think they have the cheapest fighters. Japan. Meeting request. I don't know if they have weapons in Japan. Or weapons development there. Judo championship.
sportsmen
Yeah,
are-
right. We're not going to do good in that either. Alright, let's request a meeting with France. See if we can buy some more fighters off of them. Maybe the British too, or maybe we can just get fighters off the black market. They won't be as advanced if we go from black market.
The competition will begin in a week.
Fighter plans. Alright, where do I go for black market purchases? Can't remember. I know I've done it before. Ah, contact black market.
Our governmental cell.
Very good. We want purchase. Fighter planes. Their quality is low and lacking. I don't know what Egypt's quality would be. How much would I get for 100? 6.4 billion for 100 fighter jets. What about 50? 3.2 billion for 50 fighter jets off the black market. I'm not interested in them because of such low quality at the moment. Let's see what I can get from the other people. What can I get from the French? There's an attack, it looks like. Coffee.
Sure. Dark and strong, please.
I love your country.
I hope you didn't make me...
Ooh. Okay. Purchase from them. Fighter planes. They have 104 fighter planes. If I were to buy 50 from them, that's 3. That's less than what the black market price would be. Ooh, that's pretty good. Let's see if, well, we probably won't get that deal. It'll be a little bit higher. But those fighters will be a lot more quality because they'll be quality level 3. Let's try to negotiate some lower prices here. Alright. Too low. Let's try it again. That was around 40. Fighter planes. Started at 43. 90. Good lord. 76, that's better. 53. 71. 61. Yes. 100 fighters from France for $6.4 billion. It's about what it would cost to buy off the market, the black market, except this is a much better quality of fighter jets. Excellent. That is an excellent deal. What do we have here? Land access, installation of bases. Should we give them land access? They refuse. Alright, good talking to you, French Macron. Suicide
A truck
truck.
transporting an explosive load crashed
Jeez.
into a police station. The surrounding buildings were affected, and the death toll will surely be very high.
Never good. That is never good.
Our scientific cell infiltrated an important research center.
Yeah, let's get some technology from Taiwan. Alright, we're gaining technology, 100 fighter jets, building more military installations, increasing our spy allocation in certain countries. Cyprus, Beijing World Basketball.
Our sportsmen are ready.
Yes, we're not doing great. Electoral promises. Oh, I forgot all about that. Gotta get these electoral promises done, or it's gonna affect your, what do we say here? Sheesh. Look at all this crap. Alright, I gotta pay attention to that in the next episode. For this episode, I think I'm gonna call it quits for now. But I did just want to give some updates on the channel. Thinking about doing a Hearts of Iron series Great War mod, which is World War One. Planning on just doing a description preview of all the different factions or countries that are available in that mod. That mod looks pretty good. It's probably the best mod I've seen. I've done reviews for 2 other mods. I think the Great War mod looks to be the best one so far. It's got good descriptions for national focus trees, for all the different countries. It's got technology that is relevant to the time period. It does allow you to go into the World War II time period as well, which is interesting. So I'm thinking about playing that mod. Let me know what you guys think about that. Also, I recently bought Universe Sim, which is a god simulation game, and I'm starting to get to know that. I posted the introduction to that game on the channel. Seems like it has some popularity, so I'm thinking about doing that series as well. And I'm still getting ready for a Bulgarian series in the game Realpolitik. That's a Patreon request series. I will confess, however, I have not played that game in a while, and I haven't had much time to get back into it. I was never really too into that game, Realpolitik, so the Bulgarian scenario will start in 2022, where all countries would be equal. So I would be willing to take advice from anybody who has advice on Realpolitik. I think action points seem to be the most important in that game because they would allow you to get more policies. But I would assume, since everyone is equal, arranging some early diplomacy and possibly knocking out somebody taking over some land might be a good move for Bulgaria. But feel free to comment below and let me know what you think about that series and about this episode, anything I've talked about in this episode. Please do like the video if you enjoyed it and would like to see more. If you'd like to see more, then please subscribe to the channel, and you can click the bell button so you can get updates on when I post videos for this channel. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, have a nice day. I'll see you in the next episode.